Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Bush League Huddle Fantasy Football Podcast. We have a great show for you this week. Usually, we are predominantly a PPR fantasy pod focusing on two QB leagues, but we thought it'd be really fun to dip our toes into the Dynasty format. As always, I'm joined by my fellow potters, Raj and Fab. And we have a special guest tonight during our fantasy Dynasty mock draft, Dynasty League specialist, Cousin Pete. Welcome, Cousin Pete.
Long time overdue. It's my honor to be here. Love it.
Well, we've had you on before.
No.
You're back.
Sorry?
No, I thought we had him on before.
No, you've had my cousin. You haven't had me on.
So long overdue then. You had it right the first time.
Yeah, long overdue.
Don't mind me. Before we get started, everyone, like usual, please remember to follow us, like, subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. There was some big news in the NFL this week, actually, during a relatively quiet period. With rookie minicamps underway, we got a retirement announcement and a massive trade. So we'll start off first with the retirement announcement. So after, I know we mentioned it last week, we talked about it a little bit with Derek Carr. We didn't know what he was going to do and he wasn't going to play. News came out this weekend that he is in fact retiring after 11 seasons. So we will be getting the battle we always wanted at training camp between Tyler Shuck and what's his name?
The rattlesnake.
Rattler.
The rattlesnake.
Shuck it.
Yeah, the battle we didn't know we wanted, but we're getting it. So what do you guys think about that, Raj?
I think Jacob Haney is going to win. No. I don't think so, legitimately. But first of all, let's pour one out to Derek Carr. Yeah. Much maligned Derek Carr, much fantasy maligned Derek Carr. But if you look at his underlying stats, he had a really solid career. And I think if he had stayed with the Raiders, would have been better than maybe the perception that he had the last few years. I think it's Shucks to lose, really. They don't pick him that high in the 40th pick if it wasn't the fact that they didn't see him as a potential starter. I think the injury news, even before Carr was set to potentially retire, just the fact that they picked him that high. And look, Rattler is a 5th rounder, and let's be real, I don't have the stats in front of me, he didn't look that good last year. He had 2 stints. And look, he's a rookie. He's a 5th round rookie, but he had 2 stints where they were trying to get him to be a starter. I think they're going to try to get Shuck in, and just knowing the type of quarterback that Kellen Moore likes, the fact that, they picked a QB and he was really ecstatic about him being picked. I think he has the inside track to be the starter week 1.
He's also the oldest quarterback in the room now, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right?
Is he might be the oldest quarterback in the division.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Can we all just agree on one thing, that Chris Olave is going to be really happy
and healthy too,
and healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Less hospital balls to catch. A lot less.
I guess Fab, what's your take on this?
I mean, to Pete's point, I do like it for Chris Olave, actually. Happy trails to Derek Carr. The Shuck is going to be QB1. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I even spoke about it last week too, right? You take a guy that high, he's going to be starting for you, I think, when the season starts. That's it. I got nothing else, honestly. This was a surprising piece of news, though. I wasn't expecting him to retire. I know there was conversation about him not even playing the whole season due to the shoulder injury. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I feel like this decision was made probably before the draft, but we're only finding out about it right now. That's best of luck to Derek Carr and his new endeavors. I'm sure we're going to see him on TV at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, he's not going to just sit back and do nothing. That's for sure.
No.
We also had a trade on was it last Friday, I believe it was. The Pittsburgh Steelers sent George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys for a 3rd and 5th round pick. Loading up on draft picks for next year. Obviously, they need a quarterback, so I think I think it was best for both parties involved. A lot of stuff started coming out afterwards too, where I think the locker room kind of was getting kind of had enough of it as well. Missed a lot of meetings, was late to a lot of games apparently, and they just had enough. And it apparently was on the table for a while that they were going to trade him. And the reason why they didn't do it at the draft was they wanted draft capital in 2026 versus draft capital in 2025. So that was the reasoning. But yeah, I think it's probably the best thing to do at this time. They weren't going to re-sign him after giving DK that huge contract, but curious to see what you guys think as well on the trade.
For me, I wonder if Pickens is now going to buck the trend of traded Pittsburgh Steelers and finally actually turn into something tangible post his Steelers career. He's in a good spot, right? I mean, Dallas have been looking for a number 2 now for a very long time to go up against CD. So it's going to take a lot of pressure off CD, and it's also going to open up some lanes for George Pickens too. And he has arguably the best quarterback he's ever played with. In Dak Prescott, assuming he stays healthy for the remainder for the season and going forward. I like this trade for both parties. Now Pittsburgh are like 11 picks in 2026?
12.
12? Like, it's ridiculous. They're going to be drafting a brand new team that are not going to sign after 4 years again. So, like, I don't know. I think it's good for both parties. I like it a lot. And as a Giants fan, this sucks, but it's going to be a very competitive division.
We don't even need to.
Just when we thought that we were going to be competitive, it's now going to be tough. I'm excited for the NFC East.
Excited to finish 4th?
I mean,
we're not having this conversation.
Let's not start. Yeah,
we're not having this conversation.
We're not going to chirp, but like, I think we could all agree that the Giants are in a much better position than the Steelers right now.
Oh boy!
Wow.
I mean, if I have to say, yeah, I would definitely agree at this point in time, 100%. There's no quarterback on the roster that's deemed worthy of potential. I guess
8 wins.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect. But I think, as Fab alluded to, all these receivers that got traded out, there's definitely not a good track record of any of them doing anything when they left. And I'm just curious to actually see it. Looking at it, Dallas side, I think they're just all in right now. It's like Super Bowl or bust this year. I'm not sure they have the full talent to do so, but they're not going to be signing Pickens this year, and I don't see how he fits into their budget with Parsons still unsigned, with CD making close to $40 million, Dak making 60, and on the cap it's like 80 or 90 or something like that. So be interesting to see if they fit him in after this year. But yeah, I think we all agree, definitely a good thing for both parties involved.
I want to say one thing. Although I hate the Cowboys, one thing that I'm really looking forward to is the resurgence of Javonte Williams. I don't know why people are so low on him. He has so much talent. He was good after contact. I do understand that, like, not a lot of players are the same after like an injury like that, but what better team to go and have a resurgence? Like, I know they drafted Jayden Blue, I think his name is.
Yep.
I like him as a running back. I like him as a prospect. I think the thing is that people are very high on him because he's a rookie. This is arguably the most stacked running back class we've seen in a while. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. It's quite a loaded class. But I think Javonte Williams will have a good year. I'm really hoping like we could see like a resurgence.
I think you're alone on that one, bud. But
yeah,
I liked him too. I liked him too. But
I liked him in his rookie season before he got injured.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And then I drafted him last year, took a chance on him, and he gave me like 2 or 3 good games. And look, I wish him the best. Like, I'm not gonna knock the guy, but at the same time, I don't see Javonte Williams being a thing anymore in the future. And that is a very crowded running back room where I don't think he's gonna have a lot of opportunity to carve out a role, in my opinion.
Well, we'll have our finger. I'm holding my fingers crossed. I have him in both my dynasty leagues, so I am.
Okay, so you have a vested interest.
So he's another. He's another Fab where he gets his players and he gets his flowers. Okay, we understand. Let's move on.
Nacc. Want to talk about Josh Allen for a second, or are you going to blush again?
No, I will always be high on Josh Allen, but that's Josh Allen. Okay, well,
Rightfully
without
so.
further ado, guys, let's get started on this Dynasty mock. So we're going to be doing a standard snake draft from only the rookie pool. So I'm sure Mr. Cousin Pete will be sure to provide some nice insight on where we're picking the players and where they're being drafted as our Dynasty guru on this episode. So let's get the party started and let's start. I
do it.
believe Fab owns the number 1 overall pick.
Before we get started, I just want to I just want some insight here. It's a 1 QB league or 2 QB?
2 QB.
Okay, all right. Okay, so definitely interesting. Okay.
Fab, you're going to take Jackson Dart, right? Number 1?
He's already in my queue. Hold on. No, I am actually going to be taking. I mean, this is one of the easiest picks that you can ever do. I'm going to be taking Ashton Jeanty, who's going to be future offensive rookie of the year, potentially one day future MVP, potentially future offensive player of the year, the whole 9 yards. Give me 2,000 all-purpose yards with a
2,000.
What?
In the first year?
In the first year with the Raiders?
Hold on. Saquon Barkley did it in the first year. He had 2,000 all-purpose
another
yards.
Giants reference. This is going to be
saying,
a long
I'm just saying. You guys
episode.
make it sound as if it's impossible for a rookie to get 2,000 all-purpose yards. When they are of this quality, it is very possible.
I will take the golfing on me the year after.
I'm drafting Ashton Jeanty. Hold on a second.
He goes for 2,000 all-purpose yards.
That's so far-fetched.
Fab, there was no
wild.
Fab, there was no look. The 2,000 yard is nuts, but there was no interest in Cam Ward, considering it's a 2 QB dynasty.
There was, but considering that we can also get some quality players later on in the draft too, I really want to get the blue chip prospect that is Ashton Jeanty, who can.
He's acting like Joe Shane in
carve out like such. He's gonna be the guy in that offense for.
He's thinking of the jersey sales. He's thinking of the jersey sales.
Well, that was pretty obviously predictable, but I think everyone's drafts are going to fall this way. Raj, I believe you're on the clock.
This is very easy for me, and every video I've seen of him is humility. It's professionalism. He looks like he has a great arm. I actually think he's going to be a pretty good pro just because he has the right mindset. So Cameron Ward, Tennessee, is going to be my pick. For me, that's easy. 2 QB. I think he's going to be really good.
Okay. Yeah, obviously depending on what your QBs would be and at this juncture, I guess, for everyone paying attention. But Pete, what do you think here?
What am I thinking on this pick? Well, he took Cam Ward. That was going to be my pick. So then he agrees. I don't want to. I'm sorry?
I said then you agree that he should have been taken high in a 2 QB.
For me, like, listen, if we're doing a 2 QB league, then you take a guy like Cam Ward, because again, there's just so much depth at the running back position. Whereas like here in this class, maybe we might see like 3 QBs have an immediate impact.
Right.
I'm going to go with an interesting pick right here. I'm going to go with a very interesting pick.
Jackson Dart.
No, honestly, it's funny because I was talking about Javonte Williams before, but I'm going to go with my boy, Omarion Hampton. I have a special love for running backs coming out of North Carolina. I think the landing spot. Sorry?
Why is that?
Well, because like I also like the Javonte Williams. Like it started from like the days of like Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be a stud. I also like the landing spot at the Chargers because Harbaugh likes using his running backs. I do understand there is going to be a committee with Najee Harris, but I think considering it's dynasty, I think it's a no-brainer. The running back position, as the years go by, gets more and more scarce. There's injuries. There's bye weeks. They do get overused. I think this is a player that you can't sleep on. And in the first round in my dynasty leagues, I'm trying to make trades, for the 1.02 to get Omarion Hampton. So that's my guy.
Pete, I remember, I think it was in our Bush League Huddle Instagram page, you were mentioning Omarion Hampton. You've been on him for a while. So good call on that front.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And maybe he splits carries in year 1, but Najee Harris is on only a 1-year deal, and it could be a 1 year and move on, especially if Hampton proves to be what everyone expects him to be. So that was going to be my pick at 4. So with this gentleman still on the board, I think I have no choice but to grab him. I don't know if everyone saw on the weekend, he was on a plane and sat next to a woman, and like that woman gave him like the ravest reviews because he was so like down to earth and like such a humble guy and whatever. So I like these types of guys. I'm gonna take Travis Hunter with my first pick.
And the Jags gained one extra fan. She said she'll be a Jags fan and she'll buy his jersey.
And she'll
So
buy tickets. Yeah, it was a very interesting,
He's just
cool,
a
cool story.
good kid.
But there was, man, it's more and more like it's super early, but there's a lot of people who are like, how do you trade? Like the Browns could have had this guy. And there was some stuff about Mason Graham this weekend about like apparently he was puking and like
get too many chicken wings.
He looked yeah.
Looks like a 10-year-old.
It was already a circus over there. Then they took Shadur, and it's just like it's just going to be a circus for years to come now with this team. It's laughable at this point, I think. And I guess it's back to me on the clock on the turn here. I think everyone knows where I'm going with this one. There's a few guys here I could take, but I'm not sold, and everything I've been reading on this guy makes me can't wait for him to put on a black and gold sweater.
Wow.
Yeah, don't do it.
I wanted to go. I thought I was gonna get Tetroya actually, but after taking Hunter, I'm not going to take another wide receiver. Henderson and Judkins, I'm just like I'm weary a little bit. That Caleb Johnson just gives me that we've talked about it before, those Le'Veon Bell flashes, and I think he has the backfield pretty much all to himself, especially after year 1. So I'm going to go ahead and select Caleb Johnson.
Travis Hunter and Caleb Johnson. Okay, I like your team.
You have no worries about Jalen Warren?
No. He's on another 1-year deal. 1-year deal, and they're already saying that he's still going to assume that third down back role, but he's not that early down runner. So there's no one else on the team. I know they just signed Trey Sermon, but that's going to be more of a for sure inactive on Sundays. Then they have Gainwell there, so there's not really anyone who's got that backfield, and I think they like using their rookie running backs, and that's always one position that they always chug out and let the wheels run off. So I'm confident in this pick.
Solid pick, I would say. All right, my turn.
Cousin Pete on the clock.
So if I look at the general board right now, the best available player is T-Mac. I would like to draft a wide receiver, but I'm a little hesitant on drafting T-Mac, and I'll tell you why. There's Leggett. There is also Adam Thielen. What's that other wide receiver's name? Jaylin.
Coker.
I like him.
Yeah.
I think he's a sleeper pick. I think he's gonna have a pretty good year. I have no doubt that maybe T-Mac is gonna have a solid career in Carolina. I mean, I think if memory serves me right, Bryce Young had requested, like they make the jump and trade for him. But a little bit of a crowded room. But solid player. Let's see here. The options are not really okay. So the only reason why I'm doing this pick is literally because I'm scared Fab is going to take him. Joe Shane and Brian Dable traded up. He checked all the boxes. Joe Shane did say that he wanted to roll the dice, and he did say to the reporters before we get started, "I want to learn your names." And he's also from Ole Miss. The great Eli Manning.
Son of a.
Sorry, I'm gonna do it.
Jackson Dart comes off the board.
That's it.
At 202.
A Dart pick.
He's learning how to be an aura farmer from Russell Wilson right away. I love it.
Honestly, before you pick, we have to say that the Giants have the most interesting QB room. Like on one hand, you got
more than the Browns.
Interesting in what way?
More than the Browns.
Well, because you have Jameis Winston, who's like who gives infamous pre-game and post-game speeches. Then you have Russell Wilson. Then you have Jackson Dart, and then to top it all off, you have a local New Jersey boy who's still living at home eating cutlets.
three Catholics and a Mormon. That is an interesting QB room.
Raj, you are on the clock.
So
with your second pick.
So I think you gave a really good analysis on Ted McMillan, Pete. We talked about it last week when we were kind of talking about trends after the draft, and I actually had that question for Fab and Nacc regarding Ted. Is it going to be worrisome that it is a crowded wide receiver room, but the talent is there? I think this is a legit bona fide number one receiver, and I think they saw that as an opportunity. Like, look, Leggett should be fine. Coker, I liked him too in that one game he had. And then Thielen is obviously still there, but I think I heard some rumblings of Thielen retiring after this year. So give me Tet on this front, pairing with Cam Ward.
Tetroya.
My goodness.
Is that how you actually pronounce his name?
Tetroya.
Yes.
No, that's the Italian version.
I feel like my cousin would be someone who would pronounce his name like that.
Tetroya.
Oh boy, I'm on the clock, eh? Well, this
you are on the clock with back-to-back picks.
Just threw a monkey wrench in my plans.
Just to let you know, Jackson Dart was taken.
Yeah, but Cam Scatterbo is still there. So hold on a second.
Jesus, guys,
I'm kidding.
Are you really gonna reach?
No,
I'm kidding.
Of course.
So I'm looking at. I already got an RB, so I don't know if I want to be looking at RB again. So because Henderson and Judkins are there, those are very interesting. Tyler Warren is a tight end in Indiana. I like Ibuka. I really, really do. I really like him a lot. And honestly, I might even do. Oh, this is going to be tough over here. I might actually reach a little bit over here. You guys are going to think I'm nuts. I might go Matthew Golden. And Luther Burden. Luther Burden has been looking at the Amon-Ra St. Brown spots in Chicago.
I want us to talk about Luther Burden. If you pick him or you wait, because that's an interesting.
I'm definitely picking him. No, so let me take my boy over here. Let me take the first wide receiver that Green Bay has ever drafted in the history of their franchise. Thank you very much.
In the first round.
In the first round.
In the first round, Matthew Golden.
In the history of their franchise.
Yeah. And we are going to go with Mr. Luther Burden, the third, who I really think is going to do very well in that offense.
He does it.
Look. I don't know. Look, this is like a T-Mac thing. I don't know if he's gonna have like an immediate impact because look, there is DJ Moore, there is Odunze, who was and this was a guy that like they wanted to trade up with the Giants to get him, and like he was a very good prospect. They also drafted what was that tight end again that they drafted?
Colston Loveland.
Yeah, amazing player. Like there is DJ Moore. I know the talent is there, but like sometimes, NFL teams really punish, like dynasty lovers or just in general fantasy football lovers. And, like it sucks that like, players of like a potential like that go to a team where there's already a crowded room. I don't know. I have this gut feeling like he won't have the career that we hope he's gonna have, especially in Chicago. Because again, it's a new team. They're figuring it out. I think they're gonna have a pretty decent year. Like they really revamped that O-line, but it's too much of a crowded room. There's yeah. Go ahead.
So it's all very good points. All very good points. I'm banking on the fact, and I think this is a very important thing we should take into consideration. The new coaching staff drafted him. Ben Johnson drafted him. Ben Johnson wants to replicate exactly what he had in Detroit. And he knows what he's getting out of Luther Burden.
Yeah, but when Amon-Ra St. Brown was in Detroit, like they didn't have like the depth that Chicago has right now.
It's a very good point.
Yeah,
it's a very good point. All the same, they go out and they get their guy and they showcase their guy.
I don't think DJ Moore's in there for the long haul.
I don't think so either.
He signed a long-term deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Past season. So the
doesn't mean he can't be traded.
Yeah, for sure. It's more the Roma Dunze fit with this type of offense. It's like he's not a burner like Jameson Williams. He's not like a great route technician like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that's the one where it's actually interesting in terms of his fit in this new regime.
We'll see.
We'll definitely have to see. Let's go, Raj.
You are on the clock.
Yes. So I went QB wide receiver, first two picks. I'm definitely going to go with a running back. the Henderson and Judkins, those are kind of where I would be leaning, but I think it's still interesting in terms of being crowded backfields. I gotta go to Denver with RJ Harvey.
Yes.
Considering
No.
how much Sean Payton, how confident he was, how happy he was that Harvey was available at that pick. And if I look at the competition in that backfield, Estime is looking more like a backup potentially, and Julian McLaughlin is a third down back. So I am gonna go RJ Harvey there and not look twice.
You know
Love
what?
this pick.
So
Love
I
this pick.
like that pick
Yeah.
because Sean Payton, like when Sean Payton wants someone, and in his head he puts it in like he has in his mind, this is going to be my guy. He's going to use him. My only concern is that he's very undersized. He's 5'8". I just don't know if like a 5'8" running back in today's NFL
Bucky
can
Irving.
survive.
Bucky Irving.
How tall is Alvin Kamara?
Isn't Kamara like 5'10"?
5'10"?
Yeah, he's like 5'11".
Height. I mean, Ashton Jeanty is 5'9", guys. Like height doesn't matter. It's more sturdiness. Which to that point, I don't think Harvey's not the biggest guy, but I think the way Sean Payton operates from a running perspective, it's a lot of he'll get the guy outside, he'll get them on bubble screens, on short dump off passes. That's how. And look how Alvin Kamara, not the biggest guy, not the skinniest guy, and he's going into almost year 10.
Did you see RJ Harvey's quads?
It's true. Yeah.
This guy does not miss a leg day, and this guy is going to be a bruiser as well. Like this guy is a really good running back. Everyone thought he was going to go a lot further in the draft, and they went up and made it a point to grab this guy.
Yeah.
Like
With
you
no
mentioned,
veterans.
Sean Payton. Yeah, Sean Payton loves him, and he's going to use him, and how he's used running backs in the past and how it's been successful, right? So
yeah, no, I
low
could
center of
understand
gravity.
that. Yeah, no, I could understand that. Okay,
Pete,
what do we
on the
got
clock,
here?
you went
Yeah, I know.
Marion Hampton, Jackson Dart. And
So listen, because it's Dynasty, and again, at certain positions, it's a little deep. I'm gonna go ahead and draft a gentleman that we were talking about before, and I'm gonna solidify my QB room.
wow,
Yeah.
that was
Quarterbacks are
my
flying off.
Damn.
that was
Why?
definitely my pick. You
Okay.
definitely snaked me there for sure. I thought I was gonna get a steal in the third round with Tyler Shuck.
Well, guess
So,
again.
Chuck it.
Great pick.
No,
Nope, I
sugar.
can't disagree. Definitely a great pick. I think I have my running backs there. I've got that wide receiver. The next guy on my board was going to be a gentleman out of Penn State who is going to be catching passes from none other than Danny Dimes this upcoming season. Potentially.
Well, that's an endorsement if I've never heard one before.
I'm going to be taking my boy out of Penn State, Tyler Warren.
Is this? Oh, by the way, is this a tight end premium league?
No, this is a regular league.
Oh, okay.
What's a tight end premium league?
So in tight end premium, they get so every time they get a catch, it's 1.5 points.
God,
Right.
why? What's the thinking behind that?
I don't know. It's just awesome.
Fine.
It's just awesome.
Bush League seem to hate.
I'll try and have my commission.
We were talking about removing tight ends.
Yeah. Bobby was talking about removing tight ends like 2 years ago.
No, you can't remove tight ends. Come on. No, I've won some crucial games because of tight end premium. Like this year, like
no, I would not. If my
Premium
league
tight end.
had tight end premium, I would not be joining that league. I would be voting against that 100%. 100%.
Is your QB in tight end premium?
Yeah.
Well, I rotate them. Well, I had Dak. In one dynasty league, my QB room is Dak, Darnold, Wilson, Richardson. Oh boy, and yeah, that's about it.
I was just trying to set Fab up for a Deshaun Watson joke, but he didn't catch it.
How did that?
Tight end premium? Come on, no,
I wasn't. Oh, dude, really? That's a reach, Raj. My goodness.
Well, with that QB off the board, it really screwed me up here. But you know what? If I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm just gonna go with what I believe to be the best player available at this point, and I'm going to draft Trevion Henderson.
Ooh, Okay.
I think 4th round Henderson here is a bit of a steal, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think it's a big steal.
Agreed.
Big steal.
Okay.
Cousin Pete, back on the clock with your 4th pick.
Right. Okay. So I've solidified my QB room. Let's see here.
Man, I would love to be in a 14 league. Look at these stacked rosters.
Interesting. I'm going to go with the obvious pick here. I think he's going to have an immediate impact. I'm going to go with Judkins. They didn't re-sign Chubb. I think he'll be fantasy relevant. I'm going to go ahead and stack him with my boy Omarion Hampton. Pretty happy with that pick.
You're not scared of Samson?
Mm.
Nah.
That's a very convoluted running back room.
No. Not scared of Dylan.
They still have
Sampson.
Jerome. They still have Jerome Ford, right?
They still have Jerome Ford as well. Yeah.
Bust.
Well, he's not. Yeah, he doesn't
He's
move
not
the
the guy.
needle, but
He's not the guy.
definitely crowded in there.
No, you don't draft 2 running backs if he is the guy. He's definitely not the guy, but still. You got to hope that you pick right on Judkins and it's not Samson that's taking over the carries.
Raj, you are on the clock. Your first 3 picks were Cam Ward, Tetroya McMillan, and RJ Harvey.
Yep, and I think
fun fact about Raj, ladies and gentlemen, he never drafts a QB first round in any fantasy league.
Except for Dynasty.
Yeah,
apparently.
it's been
Except for Dynasty.
it's been 4 years, I think, in Bush League. In our 2 QB Bush League, I haven't picked.
Yeah, but it also depends. Yeah, but hold on a second. I don't know which picks you've had, but I'm assuming you've had mid to late picks.
He picked second
overall last year.
He picked second overall last year.
Yeah,
and took Lamb over, let's say, Lamar or
Pete. I made back-to-back finals. I did not win, but I made back-to-back finals.
Listen, if you're drafting someone like Jefferson, Chase, Lamb over any of the QBs, preferably you want to draft anyone called Jalen Hurts, Lamar, and the list goes on. But when you take players like Jefferson, Lamb, or even heading into next year, like someone like Saquon, can't really argue, especially if he's made the finals. So I'm keeping my mouth shut on that.
For this one, I would love to take my namesake Emeka Ibuka, but considering how much the Ben Johnson led Bears play 12 personnel last year for the Lions, I'm gonna go with Colston Loveland. And there's been some noise about Cole Kmet, and maybe he was one of the guys whom I think Ben Johnson was alluding to in a press conference who maybe didn't give as much effort last year. So I think it'll be interesting to see if Loveland ends up being actually the day one starter on that front. But they pick a tight end that high when they already had a pretty decent one. To me, it makes me think that he is going to be the tight end for the present and for the future.
I like that pick.
Nice pick, Fab.
So I'm going to go running back over here.
Back.
Yeah, back to back. I'm going to go running back over here. I'm going to go with Baishal Tutin over Cam Scatterbo. And the reason being is because I think he has a clearer path to taking over all of the reps going forward. I like Cam Scatterbo a lot, but I think it's going to be very much a timeshare for as long as him and Tyron Tracer in that backfield. But I think Tutin can take over the backfield at some point in the future. So I'm going to go with Mr. Tutin.
Do you feel that way because you think Etienne's a bust?
Yeah.
I believe that too.
Yeah. I'm looking like this is Dynasty, right? You're not supposed to be looking at tomorrow necessarily. You're supposed to be looking at a year from now, right? So when these guys are actually going to pay out.
That'll look long term.
And that also brings me to my next pick, who was drafted by a team who currently has a quarterback. However, he's on a 3-year deal, but it's more like a 1-year deal, and they have an out after the second year. So I'm taking Jalen Milrow. Because I think that, again, this is going to be a 1 year, see what they have with Sam Darnold, and then just throw in Jalen Milrow, and he can turn into the next Jalen Hurts. Who knows?
Dylan Gabriel was still available.
I'm completely aware of that, and I picked Milrow all the same. Did you see what one of the reporters said? One of the Cleveland Brown reporters? He was like,
Yeah, he's my.
he was mouthing like, "I'm taller than him. I'm taller than him." When like Dylan Gabriel got off the stand, so bad, man.
People
Such
are
a mess.
nuts. People, it's a
He has no heart. He had no heart.
It's a.
Who?
You said it.
Who
said
has
it
no
best.
heart?
What was he like a staff trainer or
He was a press guy. He was
Oh,
he
yeah.
was a reporter. He was a journalist.
he embarrassed the kid on?
I was talking about Jalen Milrow. I'm like, he's on my
No,
team.
no,
man.
no,
You gotta
no.
relax with those comments.
No. I was talking
My
about that
boy,
reporter
my
who
quarterback.
embarrassed the
I thought he may have got back to me, but I guess I thought wrong.
I also needed a quarterback at this point, and it was going to be between him and the Cleveland duo. So I'd just rather take Milrow right now.
Good job. Raj, back on the clock.
Back on the clock. Still gonna pass on Ibuka. Just like Godwin just signed, right? McMillan, we talked to him last week, 7 touchdowns in 5 games. So and Mike Evans, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, he is 32. I think he has max 1 more year. I think this will be his, final 1,000-yard season, and then we'll start to see the regression. He'll stay in the team, and
Yes.
then we'll see the emergence of Jalen McMillan, maybe Ibuka. Oh no, but there is Godwin too. So yeah, I would refrain from picking Ibuka right now. Good point.
So I'm gonna go Jalen Noel because
Oh.
of Tank Dell's long-term health. Rumors as well with him with the multiple, I guess, back-to-back season-ending injuries. He might not be on the team after next year. And I love Noel's game. Slot guy, 4.4 speed, 4.45 speed. I picked him over Jayden Higgins just because Higgins is a carbon copy of Nico Collins. Sorry, I'm confusing the Mavs GM, Nico Harrison with Nico Collins. Love Jalen Noel. I think he's going to be a really good player.
All right.
Nice. Over Higgins, eh?
Yeah. Higgins is 6'4", 210. He's gonna do exactly what Collins does, which, like,
right.
I don't know. Noel does something very different, very specific. They need a deep threat in that on that team.
Yeah, agreed.
I like it.
Cousin Pete.
All right, so this is a player that I'm aiming to get in the 2nd round or 3rd round because you got to be realistic. I've told all my buddies, watch out for this guy. I think he's going to be a day 1 impact. I'm going to go with my boy, Jack Beck. Love him. I think he's going to be a stud. Yeah, I think he's going to be a stud. Reason being, he's going to a team that had holes, in the offense. I do understand there's Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is speedy, but he's been in that league now he's been in that team, for like 2-3 years. Hasn't really done anything much. Jacoby Myers is good, but I think not the type of player, to, I don't know, put on those big performances. There is Brock Bowers. I think he's going to complement Brock Bowers. I think Jeanty, Beck, and Bowers are just going to be a lethal trio. This is someone that I'm pretty high on. I would draft him in the late 2nd round, definitely early 3rd.
Interesting.
Also, Malik Neighbors loves him, so I gotta love him too.
Had to slide that one in.
Of course.
Okay, well, QB is looking very rough right now.
You're waiting on Aaron Rodgers too, eh?
You got your boy,
Yeah,
you got Nacc.
I
You got your
think,
boy over there, Will Howard. He's still available.
Yeah, I can't. He might be good, but he's probably career backup. Most likely career backup QB in the league, and with them going all in next year, I don't see a point taking Howard. I think I'm gonna go with an interesting pick here. They've been looking for a bigger guy on the outside that could actually catch the ball. I think what's Quinton Johnson's days are numbered back in LA. So I think I'm gonna go with Trey Harris here, wide receiver for the Chargers.
I was hoping he was gonna make his way back to me. I was looking at him. That's a great pick. That's a very nice
pick. Very good pick. Solid pick.
Yeah. He played with your boy Jackson Dart, so he's got to be good out of Ole Miss.
To be honest with you, I wanted to pick him, but I was like, you know what? I want to make risky picks here. So you're welcome.
Well, Beck is supposed to be pretty good too, but I just think that the Chargers are missing that guy 6'2", 200, and he looks like a solid player.
Yeah.
And now I think I have no choice but to address the QB position, and I think I'm going to go with the guy who slid to the 5th round and had everyone going crazy. I think at this point we'll take a flyer on Mr. Shedeur Sanders. Legendary.
Interesting.
That's just like that. We've talked about it on more than one occasion. That QB room right now is really, really messed up. I'm still curious to see which one of them doesn't make the team because they're not going to carry 4 QBs. So which one? Well, Deshaun Watson's going to be on IR, so he won't be there. But that exactly, they'll have that same problem next year, even cutting one this year. I'm still pretty interested to say. I don't think it's going to be like you don't cut your rookies. So I think either Pickett or Flacco's days are kind of numbered. And I think Kyle Brandt mentioned it. The only person they didn't invest anything in is Joe Flacco. They traded for Kenny Pickett, so they traded draft capital and they drafted both of those QBs. So
it's wild, Nacc. I don't understand. Like they just I don't understand how they made that trade. Like
I don't get it.
DTR wasn't DTR wasn't he wasn't amazing, but like
he would have been cut the same situation, right? Like he would have been the guy who would be cut, right? If you drafted Gabriel and Shedeur
and a pick.
Yeah, they traded. It was a 5th or 6th round pick that they traded. They traded a 5th and a 6th, and DTR for Pickett.
It's a good thing they had another. It's a good thing they had another 5th round pick to draft Shedeur Sanders.
I think it was a 6th, though. I think it was a 6th.
Yeah, but I think at that point, like if you're the Browns, like in their head, they're like, might as well. Plus, don't forget with the Travis Hunter trade that they did, they're gonna have 2 first-round picks next year. And
I don't think any team is drafting with a might as well.
But what we're saying is there's 4 QBs there now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Technically 5, right? So if you took that draft capital to move up next year to draft a QB, then why did you take Sanders after you took Dylan? There was 0 sense there.
That's why the Browns are the Browns, right?
All the moves don't make any sense.
Yes, we finally agree on something, Pete.
Social media,
I like that. The Browns is the Browns.
Sure.
I hope you agree with my pick here. Looking at my team, I like my QB room. I like my running back room. I'm going to go with my obvious pick. I'm going to go with Mason Taylor. Reason being, one of the best tight end prospects, obviously, in this draft. I love the landing spot. I like to believe Justin Fields loves his tight ends. When he played, he did utilize Muth. And also, when he was in Chicago, he did bring out the best in Cole Kmet. So I'm hoping he does the same thing with Taylor. What do you guys think?
Great pick. They didn't utilize him that much at LSU, from what I remember. It was more of a ground attack. And again, say it again, Joy Taylor's nephew. That's that in itself is worth a pick.
It's worth the price of admission right there.
Exactly. I am going to go. I think this is where I'm going to go with Will Howard.
Ooh,
wow!
Good vibes. Good vibes with him. Gruden loved him in that QB class show. Ben Roethlisberger really liked him too. Really loved the pick. I think he was a 6th rounder, right, Nacc? So this is like a clear flyer for myself and the Steelers too. But he scored. He threw 40 touchdowns last year at Ohio State. And crazy amount of talent around him. Yeah. But right now it's him and Mason Rudolph. Let's see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. If for some reason Aaron Rodgers doesn't come, Will Howard is playing next year for sure.
I don't think Rodgers is going to come when now that they got rid of Pickens. He's going to be like, who am I going to flip the ball to?
No, there's more. I think I've been
Rodgers,
saying it.
Raj, I think take it away with this one because I think you've said it more than one occasion.
Aaron, I've been saying it the entire time. It never made sense when they traded for DK Metcalf. It never made sense to have Metcalf and Pickens.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Aaron Rodgers never had a wide receiver that wasn't kind of like a disciplined route runner or even just a disciplined player. If you look at like Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, Lazard, the list goes on and on. He never played with a guy like Pickens, and I just wouldn't have seen it work at all with him.
Good point.
So
it's an interesting pick, but just knowing that I know like they're eyeing next year to go all in, or like you said, if Mason Rudolph is a starter and he ends up playing and he ends up being good, then it may derail their plans and they'll just load up on other positions. But interesting player. Josh Allen build.
There you go.
There you go. That's all you wanted to know.
There's like five Josh Allens in this draft. Jackson Dart was a Josh Allen build too.
Was he?
No, it does not.
Wait, what is he? What is he? Show me the snap count, Raj.
Is someone writing in our live?
It's Fab.
Oh,
it's me. So I'm on the clock, eh?
We're not live. We're not live.
Fine, yeah, 40 seconds, Fab.
I'm on the clock. I was letting Roger gush about Will Howard for a second. Sorry about that. So I'm going to draft the guy that's been on the board for way too long, and I think we're doing him a disservice right now to take him all the way in the 6th round. So I'm going to take your boy Raj and also your boy Nacc,
right?
Buka.
Well done.
And I'm going to go a little bit off the grain over here. I've been eyeing a tight end, and he got drafted to the Seattle Seahawks, and this guy was playing with Cam Ward in Miami, and he can do the entire route tree. And it's not as if the tight end room in Seattle is over competitive, apart from like Noah Fant. So I'm going to take Elijah Arroyo, who I think can turn into carve a very nice portion of that offense over there with Seattle.
Okay.
Love it. Love it. And you're right. Emeka Buka was there for too long.
Way too long. Raj back on the clock.
Yeah. It's getting.
I'm living my team.
This is
Says
tough.
Fab every single season.
Legit. Do I go Jayden Higgins either way?
Hard not to like your team, and when there's 4 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense, but
it would not. But the value's there. I am gonna go with a guy we talked about last week as potentially being a guy who could play quite a bit, depending on Rashee Rice, whether it's suspension or injury. Mr. Jalen Royals.
I like this pick. Like it.
Okay.
Like it a lot.
With
It's a juicy pick. It's a juicy pick.
And we said it last week. He led FBS. He led NCAA in 50-yard touchdowns. So if the Chiefs want to kind of get back to that deep shot passing attack that they had with Tyreek Hill, might be a good option with Mr. Royals.
Interesting.
I like it.
I'm gonna go with the obvious pick for me. I like wide receivers who have that big frame. To your point, Raj. He reminds me a lot of Nico Collins. Nico Collins has been a little bit injury prone. He missed quite a few games this year, even though he had a solid year. His rookie year, he missed quite a few games. John Mechie's been a little disappointing in the sense that, he hasn't been utilized. The guy had cancer. I loved him. He's a Canadian. He'll always have love for me. Tank Dell is out. They do have Christian Kirk, but I don't think he's a long-term answer. I think Jayden Higgins is going to be relevant. He's a beast. I'm gonna look to add more depth in my receiving room.
Very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been eyeing this player for a little bit, and we know you can never have too many running backs in your room. And Kyle Brandt's favorite player talks about him every single day. I think with Tyrone Tracy had a lot of fumbling issues last year, and Cam Scatabo is coming in, and I feel like might take a lot of goal line work away from him.
Wait. Hold on. You're drafting a Giants player?
I am.
Oh, really?
Okay. I really am. Yeah, I think. I think, like I said, Tyrone Tracy looked really good last year, but did have those fumbling issues. and then did lose work later on in the year to Singletary, who wasn't really great at all last year.
Motor.
Are you sure you're not? Are you sure you're not mistaking? Are you sure you're not confusing him with Damian Pierce?
No.
Wow.
I don't remember. I don't remember Tracy losing volume to Singletary. Did he?
Towards the end when he was fumbling, he lost work to Singletary, so did not bode well. And Scatterbo just looks really, really good, and I think can contribute in year one. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Scatterbo. And with my turn pick, I think my QB room looks a little empty here.
Like the Steelers?
Yes, exactly like that. We all know that Tua is very injury prone and misses a lot of games due to injury. I am not convinced with their number 2 in Zach Wilson, only on a 1-year deal as well. Who knows with the injury history? And they drafted a guy in the 7th round by the name of Quinn Ewers. So I am going to take my chances with
who was regarded to be a good QB a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He was the number one. He's the number one recruit out of OSU a few years ago.
He's rated so highly he doesn't even have a picture.
No. I still believe there's quite a few sleeper running back picks. I mean, I always value the wide receiver position to be a gold mine. I'm gonna go with an interesting pick here. Wait, I just have to see if he's still available. Yes, he is. He's been on my list for both my regular Dynasty 1QB league and in my Superflex IDP league. I'm gonna look to draft him in the late 2nd round, maybe early 3rd round. I'm gonna go with Xavier Restrepo. I think he's gonna be a stud. Cam Ward loves him. He pushed for him, and on the podium today, he gave him compliments. So
love it.
Definitely someone to look forward to because like
deep cut in the 7th or 8th round. Wow.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so for me, he was a steal. I think I can make a pretty good case for him. Calvin Ridley is getting up there in age. There are injuries. Treylon Burks has been a disappointment as of right now, and I think he can easily be the clear-cut number 1 receiver.
Even over they drafted. I think he went to Miami too. Ayo Manor.
Yes,
I think he went to Miami too. The speedster. You liked. I was always a big Restrepo guy, but I was curious about that. So, okay, love it either way.
Yeah,
great pick.
Yep.
At this stage, I'm looking either Dylan Sampson or Jayden Blue, and I will go with Jayden Blue. Just the Texas running back lineage is too good to pass up, and if you look at who he has behind him, Miles Sanders, your boy Javonte Williams, Pete, who I feel is just he's destined to be a backup. I think he's had too many injuries, and I think he goes into situations now as kind of like a clear backup. Let's see what can happen with Jayden Blue. Doesn't mean he's a running back of the future, but I think he has an opportunity this year, and if he shows up and shows out like the way Rico Dowdle did, could be a nice flyer.
Yeah,
still don't understand losing Rico Dowdle. Still don't
made no sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Still a head scratcher. Fab on the clock at the end of round 8.
So we're going to go with another guy who's been there a little bit too long, but I'm going to finally take Mr. Dylan Sampson off the board. I'm not a fan of the running back room he's in, but at the same time, you use draft capital on him. He's going to carve out a role at some point. So I'm going to take Dylan Sampson. And then I'm going to go
just to let our viewers know, let's do our last round here in round 9. So let's make it count on these last players, boys.
Thank you for the intro. I'm taking Pat Bryant, wide receiver.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
This is another guy.
Another wide receiver in Denver.
Yeah, but this is another guy that their head coach really wanted to get. And I think it was James Gladstone, the new GM for the Jaguars, was really upset when he didn't get his hands on him. So I like Pat Bryant a lot, and I'm looking forward to see him play wonderful games on my team going forward. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Very nice. Raj, with your final pick in the Dynasty mock draft.
I'm gonna end it with a 5-year player out of the Big 12 who had back-to-back 1,500-yard rushing seasons in Tahj Brooks, Cincinnati Bengals.
No.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
Love Chase Brown, Canadian as well. A little bit undersized. Not convinced he is suited for a 100% full workload in the NFL. And Tahj Brooks, 5'10", 220. Let's see if he can maybe be one of those bruisers who
I
gets
like
paired
it.
with.
Honestly,
Chase Brown.
I share the same point with you. Chase Brown was solid in his first year. You know, he really stepped it up in his second year. But a lot of the points that you brought up, I share the same vision. For me, like getting someone like Brooks in the 9th round to me is a steal. I always like making my last pick an interesting pick. I think this guy will have a clear window. He's playing in a team where it could be a hit or miss in the sense that are they going to do good or are they going to enter in a rebuild? And I think, you know, he's young. He is a bruiser. I'm going to go with Jordan James out of San Fran. You know, obviously what goes up goes down, and McCaffrey, you know, has been going down obviously with his injuries. And yeah, I think Jordan James is a solid no-brainer pick right here, especially like I mentioned before, you can't have, you know, too many running backs.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, very interesting.
What are you going to do, Nacc?
Yeah, with my final pick, I've been eyeing this guy, not just because I love his name, but ran a 4.4, 6'3", 214. I think that WR3 spot on the team is not solidified. May only see some special teams action potentially in year one, but I think I like the trajectory that he might have.
Oh,
So
yeah. I know.
I am going to
Yeah.
go with Mr. Isaac Tesla.
Knew it.
I knew it right away.
I knew it.
Isaac Tesla.
Like, I love this guy's name. I'm like, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Love this guy. No, but
Yeah.
he's. I think he's gonna do well. I think he went to the
But wait.
perfect team.
Can we talk about like the opportunity? No, because I like what Nacc brought up. Like there has been a little bit of speculation with Jameson Williams being traded. I like. What do you guys think?
Did they decline his option?
That's a good question. I don't know, and I should know that because I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Laporta in both my leagues. So that's a good point.
You're right. I've heard rumblings that that's not a guy that they're looking to sign long term. This guy comes in a little bit. They did pick up his option?
Yeah.
Okay.
They picked up
Campbell loves him. Dan Campbell loves him. He went for bat for him. He literally
there was just rumblings. I don't know. I've heard some things too, but that third, it's the wide receiver 3 position on the team. That's like Tim Patrick. Like,
yeah,
he's been hurt. Like, it's not. I don't think it's a solidified position, and I think he could maybe find a way into the lineup. Like I said, maybe not so much in year one, but
I'm surprised you didn't go with Devin Neal. I'm surprised you didn't go with Devin Neal because you did mention before, you know, you can't have too many running backs. I'm surprised you didn't go with him and like, you know.
I got 3 of them already here. I thought I needed another wide receiver just to fill out the room a little bit.
Who's the New Orleans running back behind Kamara that they've been talking him up ever since he got drafted?
Kendre Miller.
Well, it's supposed to be Kendre Miller, but he's been disappointing as well.
Yeah, he's been in the hospital a lot. Well, guys, that'll do it for our Dynasty Fantasy Mock Draft. I want to thank Pete once again for coming on. Thanks for all your insight. I'll give you the chance at one more Steelers dig if you want before we let.
No,
don't kick them while they're down.
You're good. Okay. You had it. You think you got it out of your system?
Listen, I mean, the situation is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I needed to say much.
All good. You got your shots in when you could, so it was good.
Listen, guys, both teams are gonna have interesting seasons, so it's just best to sit back, enjoy the show, and pray for the best. The good thing with the Giants is just, it's a hit or miss. And with the Steelers, they're in a competitive division. I think the hold on. The Ravens are a lock. I mean, like at this point, like to be number one. The Bengals now with like no offense or no defense. Then the Browns are the Browns. So who knows? Maybe you guys might be mid again.
No offense?
No, sorry. I meant to say that the Bengals have no defense, but they don't have an offensive line.
We'll see how it goes. I still see them finishing third, not over that, but we'll see. Guys, please remember to follow us, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts. Very, very. This was a great episode, guys. I don't know. I have to say, it was
a lot of fun.
That was super fun. I really want to. I think I want to join a dynasty league. I'm looking.
Yeah,
into,
legit.
Let's do a little fantasy bush. Fantasy Bush League, that Dynasty League. I think that's not a horrible idea.
Okay.
No, it's not. And I've been talking
I'm
about it.
Looking forward to the podcast.
I was talking about it with my cousin. He said he was down. Are you guys would you guys be interested?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in. Yeah, but how
Will
long
I get to join this league?
The first draft of a Dynasty League. How long does it take? Like a month?
My buddy at work said they do 8 hours between picks.
You do it live, right?
Oh.
Live, Fab, live.
Live, yeah.
8 hours?
6 days.
Yeah.
No.
They do 8 hours.
Why does it take that much time?
You're drafting
because they just have you just draft, and it's like they start now in like April or March, and they just draft. Like you have 8 hours.
Actually,
it stops at I think it stops at like 11 p.m. or midnight, and then it reopens. It starts.
No, man, that's a special case. No, that's a special case. Like if you do a 10-man league, but like I don't know how it see. This is why I always propose sleeper. You can put a timer on the pick. So if you do 35 seconds to 40 seconds a pick. And, you could just go up to 10, 12 rounds or 14 rounds. And, with everybody having 30 seconds,
But the first draft
when you first join your league, how long was your first draft? And how many players did you draft?
It's long. You draft a lot of players.
So I'm in 2 10-man leagues. Our Dynasty, our Superflex IDP league, maybe max took an hour and 20 minutes, max.
But when you first started, your first ever draft?
Yeah, because look, you need to understand. I also play. Well, because
towards the
again,
end,
why does scratch, right? Yeah, because you're starting from scratch. But the good thing is that you have your team and you're set. But the thing is that I also play with guys who are very knowledgeable in Dynasty and in fantasy overall, and they're pretty set. You know what I mean?
You're trading picks during the draft as well, right?
Yeah. But also throughout the season, I'm telling you guys, you have to give it a try. It's fun. It's amazing.
It seems like it's very time consuming as well. Like you're gonna always 100%. Be on this thing.
Not as much as you think. Like again, you'll obviously have guys who want to trade, like me. I'm a little bit of degenerate like that, but right after this, I'm gonna look to start making some trades. No, but in all honesty, it depends how committed and how driven you are to bolster your team. But it's super fun. I mean, when you're starting off from scratch, especially it's fun. But the beauty is that you get to keep this team for a couple of years, and you kind of get a sense of what a general manager really is.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And what's also good is that when you see trades, you get to be like, oh, that was a terrible trade, dumb trade. You give your 2 cents. So I feel you and your buds are a lot more involved, but it's fun. I mean, I can't wait to have the guys over. I moved into my new home. I redid my backyard, putting up a pool. We always have that tradition. Once a year we get together and we do all our leagues in one day.
Amazing.
Wow,
amazing.
That's
crazy. That's crazy. Well, Pete, thanks again for joining us on behalf of Raj and Fab. I am Nacc. Raj, cue that music.
Sorry, it's a bit different with the new platform.
Oh, good. Works out. Very well done. Very well done. I like it.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Very fun.
It was.
Thank you,
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Pete. Thank you.
Insightful. Definitely very insightful.
Now, the next time you come on, it will be we're going to know that you came on.
Will it be for some Giants talk, hopefully?
We're gonna when we preview
And
the AFC
that's our
North,
cue.
we're gonna bring you in. You can preview the Browns.
Nice, perfect. All right, boys. Have a good one.
Good night.
Peace out. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.